Casualty review with spoilers. Iain opens up in special ambulance control episode. Michael Stevenson did an incredible job in tonight's Casualty. The episode the calls were varied. The first one was another case involved a young girl, Frankie Nancy Surridge, trapped in a house fire with her little sister and her unconscious, abusive father. With Iain's help, in between these moments were scenes where Iain talked to his therapist Claire Frances Barber. If you're broken, a breakthrough came when he took a call from a suicidal woman who was threatening to jump from a bridge. He realized it and he also helped to remotely deliver baby twins, a boy and a girl. One or maybe even. Sue Hassler is the author of the official Holby City book, which you can read about. Her latest novel, watching tonight's Casualty episode about Iain's mental health could save lives. Casualty star reveals what's next for Iain after emotional ending. Casualty star reveals his proudest moment of Iain's mental health story. Fears for Iain as he begins work in ambulance control, and 6 other Casualty spoilers. Ads keep our content free for everyone. Please note that the Interactive Advertising Bureau IAB describes online personalized advertising through the below definitions. We put the storage of information, or access to information that is already stored, on your device, such as accessing advertising identifiers and / or other device identifiers, and / or using cookies or similar technologies. The collection and processing of information about your use of this site to subsequently personalize advertising for you in other contexts, i.e. on other sites or apps, over time. Typically, the collection of information, in combination with previously collected information, to select and deliver advertisements for you, and to measure the delivery and effectiveness of such advertisements. This includes using the collection of information, in combination with previously collected information, to select and deliver content for you, and to measure the delivery and effectiveness of such content. This includes using the collection of information about your use of the content, in combination with previously collected information, used to measure, understand, and report on your usage of the content. Ads keep our content free for everyone. We use additional third-party advertising companies who serve ads to help keep content free. For these partners, you will continue to receive advertising, however, it may not be tailored to your likely interests. Well, check in with you. Great. Thanks for choosing. You have opted out from our advertising partners.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park,